So money not gone to waste whatsoever. So Runes of Lordaeron, Matt, let's take it away.
Runes of Lordaeron, yep. The gates are opened. I was going to say, on the topic of Analit, actually, we've got a player profile of him featuring his keybinds and everything on our YouTube channel, Intel Extreme Masters, but the action is kicking off, so I'm going to shut up. And Phoenix blinking away. He's under some pressure.
Yeah, Phoenix was going to bring the blink away there from Sanchez. Sanchez now going on to the back of Hiss. There comes a pain suppression. Actually a blind and a poly, and that's going to be trinketed. Sanchez did have a trinket available to take those off. Will get back onto his target, which is going to be Hiss. Hiss does use evasion. Sanchez looking to get away, gets put into a deep freeze. Same time as Vanish, complete, like evasion maybe. Phil Dryzen now going to be the target though. They are going to switch as I lose control of the camera. Pen Hiss still going low. Hiss is put into a kidney shot. Phil Dryzen looks to be safe. It's going to be Hiss. Hiss put into a fear as well. That fear blind onto the priest of Analit. Hiss was put into a fear not to be able to escape, and they will get the kill. I was looking at Phil Dryzen to see if there was a potential kill there. He did dip below, but all the pressure really was onto Hiss. I felt the blind and the poly on the same time as Sanchez was a desperate attempt that they were forced into, you know, by the sheer damage that really they just made a mistake.
So I took the bus to the solarium and everything went good until then I was so tired from last night because I played WoW too long. So what happened? I fell asleep in the solarium. Half an hour later I woke up and my skin was burning as hell, but it wasn't as bad as it is now. So because I haven't planned to spend that much time in the solarium, I was forced to spend all my money to pay for the solarium so I couldn't go to the club. And my bus that should bring me back from home had left already. So this guy's burnt from the solarium and he's used all his money. So I went to a friend and borrowed a bike from him. Just as I started driving home, it started to rain very heavy because it was sunny all day long. I've just had on a t-shirt and shorts. So after 10 kilometers, I finally arrived at home. I was freezing, my skin was burning, and I felt like a rogue, which is the class I play, in a freezing trap, cloak and sprint and vanish on cooldown, and knowing that the PvE geared hunter is going to kill me with his next 3 explosive shots within the next 5 seconds. Second part after the game.
Wow, stay tuned. All right then, so Phil Dryzen following him at the moment. Already the pressure on against all authority. There is a sheep currently and a blind onto Analit, so they look to get early pressure. There has already been hypothermia onto Phoenix, so he's already used that. Phil at the moment, really no pressure onto him. He's going to have fear up in a few seconds. Sanchez is going to be dropping low. Sanchez now needs to get healed up. There comes, no, it actually isn't going to be a pain suppression. It's just going to be Grace. He is put into a cheap, followed by a rupture. Here comes the evasion finally from Sanchez. Phil Dryzen is put into a counterspell, and Sanchez goes down to 1000 HP and will drop, and it was the counterspell from Phoenix that will get the kill. Switching over though to Hiss. There we go. There comes a penance, and that's going to skill him all the way up. Yep. Oh, no, you can see when counterspell. Phil Dryzen. Oh, that's weird. Yeah.
Game over for Mouse Sports. I mean, Phil sitting at 1 game and Analit at 9K.
Mouse Sports use their offensive cooldowns really early on. You saw a blind, and you did see someone go into a ice block. I didn't think I actually saw a master spell come in. Maybe there was, but certainly they felt that they could maybe get that master spell in.
Basically, he's in a really bad situation, and this is when the plugs for WoW Wednesdays come in. He says, great, I've got a cold and I was totally freezing, so I made myself a hot chocolate and sat down in front of my PC. I wrote to my friends on MSN that I wasn't going to the club tonight because he felt terrible. So he started WoW, logged onto his account, and got the following message on his screen: you've used up all your prepaid time on your account. Great. He didn't even have enough money to buy a game card because he spent it all on the solarium where he overslept and got burnt, and this is terrible. I really feel for this guy. So anyway, he logged onto his ESL account, went to the ESL page, and thank God we finally uploaded the WoW Wednesdays VOD, and right now he's sitting with ice cubes on his burned skin and a hot water bottle on the spots where he's freezing, eating chili con carne and drinking an ice cold cherry coke. So he ends it by saying, life ain't so bad if you've got something to eat. and you got Wow Wednesdays.
All right, well, yeah, a good motto maybe of the story. Sanchez then is going to try and open up, gets feared, pops to vanish, and is going to go again onto Phoenix, dropping a lot of damage onto Phoenix, goes down to 9k HP. At the moment, Alec was also put into a hypothermia. Phil Dryzen currently sitting in a blind. Sanchez is going to be polyed, going to be dispelled off once, dispelled off twice, and the rogue that he was trying to get on has also vanished. So both of these rogues are a potential of opening up onto each other. It is going to be Histo that picks his target first. Hist's going to pick Alex, and Alex is going to go down. And I didn't see if hypothermia was still up, but it probably was. And well, what a kill. Phil Dryzen wouldn't have been in a blind, but that was absolutely just nukelicious, which is the new word of the day. But certainly, I mean, Sanchez maybe could have reacted slightly quicker, even though he did die in 2 seconds. If he reacted 1 second earlier, could have kept him alive.
I doubt it, but it's possible.
Mate, Phil Dryzen's a personal friend of yours.
Yeah, that's true. Phil Dryzen used to work with us at the ESLTV offices. He used to do our inserts and our graphics for the shows, and he was a great colleague and a great player, for sure.
But unfortunately, now Matt does those, so...
Well, you know what? Yeah, I mean, it's RiMP versus RiMP. Don't ask me predictions, man, at the start of the game. But aAa, certainly, as we've said before, the more established and the more experienced team. Game has kicked off. All players in combat.
Actually, it does look like they're going to try and train down Phil Dryzen to begin with. He has a pain suppression already used on him. Still damage being pumped in from Phoenix. Does have line of sight onto Phil Dryzen. He does get away. Nice fear there. He's going to break some damage. In comes a poly onto Sanchez. They're going to need to remove that. In comes a cheap shot. Sanchez still sat in poly. Phil's going to have to play 2 versus 3. And this is going to be too much for him. He does get some heals off. In comes a poly onto Alec. That comes off as well. Phil Dryzen trying to get away. And eventually in comes the Holy Fires. And well, I mean, when you put the priest under that much pressure and then control his DPS, it's just too much for him to do. We saw evidence of that when E-Dogs did it to Ensidia last week, twice in a row, and this time it's going to be aAa who do it.